Somebody's come through here and created a ruckus. Lord. Anyway, we're at Squatch Point. Going to stretch our legs a little bit. We've been out here a couple of 3 hours. Something like that. Time to walk around a little bit. The boat dock down there seems to be kind of busy, so we're not going down there and we'll stretch. Look on that horizon, see some clouds up front, some puffy clouds just above the trees. We'll have to look at radar there. So we're going to walk around a bit, get our land legs back to us, and we'll be back. You know, we call this Squatch Point. I'm up on top. There she comes, and just down beside her, to the left of her is the boat. Couple of reasons. And if you're just joining us, our channel, and you're new here, one night, 2019, 2020, summer of, we was out there on the lake. Now what we do at night, pretty routinely, we'll go up lake and drift down the lake towards a boat ramp. Dragging lines, feet propped up, looking at the stars, satellites, airplanes, whatever. And just chill before we call it a night. We was out in here somewhere. And again, down there's the boat. Somewhere along in there. We was both kicked back, feet propped up, and we was done, you know. Just having a big time. I don't even think we was dragging lines that night. There's a slight current to this, you know, it's creek fed up in that other end and the spillway's down the far end, so there's just a slight current. Anyway, we're out in here somewhere, kind of this side of the lake, not really right in the middle, just wherever the current was taking us. Something up in here let out the most unbelievable howl growl of a thing that I'd ever heard. Hair stood straight up. You get that adrenaline surge, your knees hurt so bad you got such an adrenaline surge. I fired up the gas motor and we got out of town. We just left. Okay, really didn't say nothing to anybody, but we knew it between us. You know, people tell you you're crazy. Ain't nothing. You didn't hear nothing. You're crazy. You're insane. Whatever. Well, that's kind of a known fact. I am. But still, you just don't go putting everything out there like that. So that went on. Dear, you don't have to worry about it. It done walked up in here and cleared them for you. Spider webs. And the next summer, now both of these long before we even thought about doing videos for YouTube. We'd snap the obligatory picture of what we'd catch, put it in our own files on the computers. You know, we thought we was big time doing that. But anyway, this is before we thought about doing videos. So nothing more that summer. You know, and the next summer we come out here, we discover this. Our beach down there, last video I'll show you again, said it was growing up. Well, that's good because not a lot of people find this place. We can get up here and walk around. And she's taking pictures of flowers.
Flowers?
Mushroom. Okay, you want some shrooms? You need shrooms? Anyway, we get up here and we're stretching our legs. Now we'll get up here and sit in the shade in the heat of the day. You can see it's pretty heavily wooded. A lot of shade, a lot cooler than out there. We'll get up here and we'll drop a towel and we'll have a seat, lean against a tree or whatever. Cool off, wait the heat of the day down. But the next summer, we come up here and I see this. I believe that was the summer of 2021 we found this. I'll have to look back and see. But this tree break, yeah, if she'll come up here and stand, I'll show you how high it is off the ground. In comparison, she's 5'8". Yeah, it's about 6 foot off the ground where it broke. Go ahead and put your hand around it and other way if you can, show that it don't, and that's the thickness of it. And it was wedged in between those two trees, the upper end. I'm surprised this is still here. Nobody's fooled with it. But like I said, I don't think a lot of people come up in here. I don't think they know there's a quiet little respite up in here, a shady spot. But anyway, when this was full grown, that was wedged between those two trees. I'm not talking about up there either. I'm talking about down. It had to have been pulled down there. Did somebody do it? Probably. How tall and how strong was they to do that high off the ground? You know, where would they have to grab up in here for the leverage to break it there? You know, they didn't just snap it off right there. Well, no human did anyway. Now, I'm not a big believer in our alleged bipedal dwellers. I do highly believe in the possibility, if not probability. But anyway, I was up here one other time on the water late at night, our usual routine. I heard something again. Now, after that one, I did talk to somebody, showed them pictures of this. And they sent somebody to check it out. I never did hear the findings of that. Yeah, I sent them the GPS coordinates of this, but never heard an outcome, and that's okay. But anyway, was up here one other night and got it again, some kind of noise, and it wasn't like the first one. Come out of this patch of woods up here on this knoll on this point. So that's why we call it Squatch Point for the folks that's joining us recently. And like I said, you know, and like now, you know, there's no shade down at the house. Has briars, blackberries. There's no shade down at the boat ramp, so if you're looking to take a shade break, you know, we discovered this. And this is where we come up and hang out, walk it off. You know, you can only sit in the boat so long before you got to stretch. And, but like I said, it's nice and shady. You can see how thick it is. And cool, you know, the wood's always cooler. But that's why we call this Squatch Point. Because of the lack of something better to call it, and for the incidents that's happened here. Now that, you know, there's some old broken trees, been here forever. You can tell they're dead and they're rotted, turned to powder if you start fooling with them. Sawdust, whatever. But anyway, when that was broken there, it was green. It wasn't dead. It is now. It's been a couple of 3 years. But this was green. This was a healthy growing, what you call it, a sapling at that, young tree. Sapling or young tree at that stage. My opinion of a sapling is couple of fingers or so diameter. But this, like I said, there's no shade down at the boat ramp. It just stays pretty busy. If we just want to get out and walk around, she likes to take pictures of mushrooms, flowers, odd plants or oddities, configurations that she finds in the plants. And but here's Squatch Point. Like I said, you can see some old dead stuff. It's been dead forever. And this being green, and at about 6 foot at the break, you know, how far they got to get it above the break to get the leverage to break it there. And how tall was that person? But that's why. And tonight we're going to do our routine. Before we go, we're going to go up lake. Slowly drift down until we're tired of it or whatever happens. So we come out here, we make it worthwhile. You know, we do a full trip. Afternoon, evening, and into night until there's nothing biting no more. Now, some nights that's a little earlier than others. But Squatch Point, everybody. Say she takes pictures of a lot of stuff. Mushrooms, holes in trees. You know, one of these days she's going to be down there with that camera and something's going to come back out and look right back at her. Look her in the eye. So I'm waiting to hear that shriek one of these days. Anyway, pretty fair trail leading back on into the woods. We followed it back in there and the trail just keeps going and going and going. So anyway, here's part of the trail. You know, like I said, you can see it weaving through. Sorry about that. It just continues on and on and on through the woods. Then you walk a little bit further. Now I swear, people, I swear on a stack of Bibles, and I take that more serious than I do anything in life. There's a Bible. You walk a little bit further, well, you can see that that's an older break, you know, just out of the blue. There's nothing on it. A dead stick. And you see stuff like that. Well, boom, there it is. Anyway, whoop, there it is.
Oh, wait.
You bent over right beside my tree break. I was videoing here. You did. You didn't plan that?
No.
Well, you did. I was talking about
I didn't know that tree break was there.
Oh, God, it's going to be a long night. I'm going to die. But anyway, this trail, you know, leads on around and down, and she didn't know she'd been over there beside my tree break that I was talking about. So, but anyway, you know, I talked to a couple of people that I trust thoroughly. And one or two of them said, you know, whatever is up here or isn't up here, whatever breed of animal it is or isn't, beside the point. But I've said many a times that, you know, come dark, we're pretty much the only ones left on the lake. This is a real quiet place. That's why we like it. Fishing is good, as you've seen. See, the trail keeps leading on here. But like I said, you know, whatever animals are up in here and around here, and I ain't listening to those shots either. That's nothing unusual. Anyway, whatever all animals are in these woods come down to this lake at night to drink, feed, get water, whatever it is they do, you know. And they're used to, yeah, that's been there a long time. I didn't say nobody comes up in here, but it's not heavily traveled, you can tell. But anyway, the animals come down to the lake at night to drink, fish, whatever. And they're not used to somebody invading their space. You know, we're new, we're foreign, we shouldn't be there. So we're probably going to hear a lot of noises. And that tree break over there is not on the trail. Yeah, this is probably a deer trail, and every other small animal, fox, raccoons, whatever, comes through here. You know, as far as trails go, this is a super highway. You know, it's well worn and well used. But yeah, I'm not saying none of those don't exist and come down here. Well, I just done a video on creatures of the night here recently, and you've seen it. So there's all kinds of animals visits water's edge. But the point being, like I said, you know, we're out there. They're coming right down there at the bottom of this trail to fish, catch fish, frogs, drink, whatever. And we're invading their turf. You know, they're not used to that here. But I don't care what night, week, weekend, 4th of July, every 4th of July we spend up here, we're the only ones on the lake. You know, even holiday weekends, dark, by dark or shortly thereafter, we're the only ones on the water. So, you know, they're just not used to a lot of human presence here. And you look over here, you know, there's the trail she's on. Leads down through there. And somebody probably did this. I ain't going to say they didn't. This has been here for a while. But it's off trail. It's off to the side there a little bit. So anyway, that's why we call this Squatch Point. I'm not out here trying to sell a bill of goods. This is just what we've encountered and heard. And that's how it got its name, for lack of something else. I don't know what to call it. Yeah, this is a real good snaky place. You watch, they're blending in, all right? I don't know how prevalent copperheads are up this far north. They're here. Water snakes and everything else. Neither one of us needs to get bit and get that infection, or the risk of an infection at the bite site. So yeah, but mainly this is where we come to stretch. Like I said, we've thrown out a couple of towels and sat here in the shade and picnicked up here out of the sun in the heat of the day. When it's really clamping down, those doldrums in the mid-afternoon. So, and it's growed up down there. We'll get another view of that. I'm glad it has, because like I said, this is kind of a nice secret little spot up here. She disappeared. No, she ain't. There she is. All right. I'm going to say maybe she got kidnapped. I don't know. Squatch napped. But that was the original tree break we found, about 6 foot up. Yeah, and it was brushy, bushy, more so than this when it was first done. It was wedged down. If it would have failed, it would have caught up high. It was so brushy, bushed out. But it was pulled down to a 90 degree in there between those. It's on some past videos there. And after the noise, this adopted that name, Squatch Point. Now there's one thing, that right there. From down on the water, if you're shining a spotlight up in here at night, the way that's silhouetted, that's just a big black figure standing there looking at you. That'll lighten your night up too. Good stuff. And she's found a bone. Smaller animal bone. It's not big. It's about 5 inches long.
Big knuckle on it, though.
About an inch around. I'm not going to pick it up, but yeah. You can see the size of it there. Just a bone. Somebody has passed away here. Some living creature. And nature has taken it back. But I'm back to the boat. She's on her way. She likes to take these nature pictures. Use the screensavers and backgrounds on her computer and phone and stuff, and that's pretty cool. Still got a fair amount of sun in the sky. Let me check the radar. That white puffy is down there, disappeared. Good. Then we're going to head to our evening spot.